Lunch with Lee was recorded at Hive Sound Studios, Sydney's newest podcast, recording and all audio hub. If you have any recording needs, go to their website, Hive Sound Studios. Hello and welcome to Lunch with Lee. I'm your host, Shane Lee. Today on the show, Alexander Volkanovski, a current Australian professional at mixed martial arts, competing in the featherweight division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, and is a former UFC featherweight champion. He was born in Mount Warrigal on the New South Wales south coast and played rugby league in the Group 7 division growing up. He's a father of three. He loves his country music. Welcome to Volk.
How are you?
Mate, good to see you, mate. And Brett Lee, a former Australian and New South Wales fast bowler, playing 76 tests and 221 one-day internationals for his country, taking 310 test wickets and 380 one-day wickets. He's the bass player in the band Six and Out. He also grew up in Mount Warrigal on the south coast. He's a father of three. He's my little brother, and he loves any type of music. Hey, bigger.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Now, Volk, I want to start with you, Volk. I want to start with nicknames.
Okay, nicknames. There we go.
So growing up, mate, you were known as the Hulk. You were 97 kilos. Well, you're nowhere near that now.
No. So I actually fight at 65.8 kilograms.
Wow.
So that's my weigh in. That's what I weigh in at. But I used to, when I was playing prop front row for the Rilla Gorillas, I was 97. That was like the heaviest I was. But I was usually about 93 kilos. That's what I would have played footy most of my footy career. But yeah, I used to just be a little ball, mate. I was just a little, just solid. Obviously, a bit heavy, but yeah, made the lifestyle change to MMA. And so the dieting and all that, it was a long process.
A long process.
I still put. I'm not 65.8 kilos now. Let me tell you that. So I'm enjoying my food.
So your nickname's gone from the Hulk, as you said, down now to 68. Your new nickname's Alexander the Great, which I like after the Macedonian warlord.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So my dad's a Macedonian, mother's Greek. I usually try and keep that off. Usually the comment section, you can imagine the Macedonians and Greeks going at it. Every single time. So every time I bring it up, you know what I mean? But so that's where the Alexander the Great come from. But
love it.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Makes sense, right? What I do, I guess.
It does.
Well, firstly, Yasu.
Yasu.
I'm married into a Greek family, so.
All right, there you go.
We have something in common.
Tiganis, Galatians.
Yes. So your mother's Greek from which island?
North. Man, Emma, my wife, knows more about that than me. Yeah. I know I've talked about it a few times, but up pretty high up in Greece anyway. That's all I could say.
Yeah, my so Lana's Papu's from Kythera.
Okay,
which just came from recently.
It's pretty good Greek, Brett.
Mate, it is.
I've got a store by the Colo.
I
did a little bit.
Wait, so your nickname's Bing. Maybe we need to get you a Greek nickname. What would it be? What would you feel?
You'd throw me.
I'm not sure.
Bretos.
Bretos, there you go.
Bretos. My work.
Now, it's funny. We all grew up in Mount Warrigal, which is right next to Oak Flats on the south coast. And who would have known that I was living next to two smiling assassins? You with killing people with the cricket ball, and you potential UFC champion. You weren't then, but you are now.
Yeah, man. It is wild. Like I still remember back in them days, and obviously big fan of you guys. And I used to play soccer. I used to play football at Shane Lee Oval. Shane Lee Field. So it was pretty cool. So that's why when I seen you that day and we're like, we've got to catch up. Like 100%. Plenty to talk about.
Plenty to talk about. It was a great place to grow up. It was a very. I'll ask you about this, Brexit. It was a very multicultural area, the South Coast, and particularly where we grew up. Our dad worked for BHP his whole life as a metallurgist. So I remember my gang at school. My gang at school we had Michael Munt, the German. We had Tony Costa from Portugal. We had Rodney Otterson, the Peruvian. I had Pavan Vedat, who was Persian. So it was a very, very multicultural area. And you're doing a lot of stuff now as a multicultural ambassador to India, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm working with a company called JIX, and it's Job Immigration Consultancy Services. And I've been going to India for 30 years, and I love India, 160 odd times, 5 passports. And it's essentially bringing skilled migrants over to Australia.
Okay.
And I guess it's what we're about here today is like we've grown up, as I keep saying, Mount Warrigal. I had Greek mates, Macedonian mates. I had, back then Yugoslav mates and all that type of stuff. And we just love every different culture. And I guess that's what I'm doing now is bringing in or allowing skilled migrants to come into Australia and find them jobs because they get over here. they've got the skills, but they don't know what to do. So holds their hand and puts them in placement.
You mentioned rugby league. You played for the Warilla Gorillas, in Group 7, which is a very, very strong rugby league area. Are you a Dragon?
Yeah, I go for the
Good
Dragons.
boy.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I played a few rep sides as well, like country rugby league, and that played for Steelers. That was younger. I think that might have been under
Illawarra Steelers.
Yeah, so played a few rep sides, but really Gorillas where I did most of it.
But you had your head in the front row too.
Yeah, exactly. So I was a big prop.
Big.
The biggest prop you'll ever see, 5'6" if I'm lucky.
Have you gone for the front row to UFC and your face looks pristine, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I got a couple of scars here and there, but I haven't been hit too much except for the last couple, you know what I mean? But last couple I got hit, but that's right, I'm about to change that soon.
Good on you, mate. And I read too, it was the grand final, and they say cometh the hour, cometh the man, and you were man of the match in the final for the Rilla.
Yeah.
What do you I'll talk about your UFC in a minute, but what are your sporting memories like? Because I always say it doesn't matter if you win a World Cup or you win an under-12 championship, the feeling's the same. And did you experience that too?
Yeah, of course. So it's your whole year of your dedication, and you've got a goal to win every game, got a goal to try and get to the semis, got a goal to win that grand final. So a lot of effort gets put into that. So to go the whole year, and then we made the grand final actually when we won the grand final. That was my last year of football, rugby league, and. So we lost the 2 years before. So, the whole year we made it there and then lost again in the grand final. And then my last year we won. I scored a try.
Beautiful.
You could imagine me, like I said, at 5'6", 97, a 40-metre try. I think I add meters every single time.
Yeah,
sure. And I think it was definitely 40 plus, I think. But, then just scored, got the man of the match as well. So it was quite a good time to end it. I remember during that year, I'm like, I had a couple of fights. I'm like, I might give it up. But absolutely loved it. That team it's different to what I do now there. But yeah, it was. But
you would have seeing your box and fight. You would have had a bit of pace too.
What's it? So like a
running.
Running, yeah. It wasn't too bad. These short legs can move. You know what I mean? Like a bit of agility. They'll get going. I don't know about top speed.
Yeah.
But it gets going pretty quick. I'll get to top speed pretty quick.
Is it normally you're a good runner if you can't fight? You're a fast runner, generally.
Yeah, that's a good point, Brett.
Well, I won my last fight by 100 metres.
Did you play? I've never asked you this question. Did you play any rugby league games growing up? I snuck in one game for Oak Flats High. We didn't tell mum and dad.
No, I didn't. No, I was athletics. I did used to do the 100 and long jump and high jump and that and javelin. So I was more the athletics, but I played one game of football as in soccer and tore my groin when I was 15. That's it. Yeah. Focus on your cricket. So I did.
Yeah, I had one game for Oak Flats High, and we were playing against Dapto, and they had David Riolo and John Simons. Remember he played State of Origin, the halfback, and we were down 50-0 at half time.
Oh, really?
And we had this guy, Mladen, who used to wear a Michael Jackson red leather jacket to school.
Across the road.
This is across the road. And he said, let's kick their fucking heads in. And it ended up all in brawl. And they put me at fullback because they knew I was
so he literally did that.
He fucking kicked their head and the game got called off. And that was my last game of rugby league.
Well, you didn't lose then, right? You got called off, There you go.
Mate. It wasn't for us. I remember during State of Origin, Brett and I and our younger brother Grant would always play footy in the backyard. And I used to be Phil Blake from Manly back then. And I think you were Brett Kenny.
Brett Kenny or Peter Sterling, yeah.
And Peter Sterling and Grant might have been Rod Wishart.
Well, he's not telling the actual full story here, mate. So Shane, 2.5 years older and a lot bigger and stronger. He'd wrap my head up, as I did in footy, tape my ears in, but without the sort of fabric underneath, real tight. So my head felt like it was going to explode. He'd run down the touchline, which is down Dad's fibro shed, and he put a hole. He'd tackle me straight through the shed, punched a hole. Dad was blowing up. And that was it. That was my football career over.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, he used to build the shit out of me in the backyard.
I mean, that's it. I guess it's got to be done. My older sister, she was the roughest one out of us. She's put my head through a wall before. So
really,
yeah, we ended up hiding that with a computer desk for years. And then remember we had to move it once. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, just my dad and mum like, where'd that come from? Yeah, Melissa
So
put my head through the wall.
just the one sister?
And I've got 2 sisters and a brother. I'm the baby. I'm the baby of the family.
mate.
And while we're still on the backyard football,
Yeah.
I used to be pretty good at backyard cricket, I must say. You
Really?
know, I had a good little spin on me.
Were you leggy?
But I mean, no, not too good. But I mean, I was all right. We used to play a fair bit of it. You know, I used to play even at my mate's place. Oh, you used to know the Lake Foreshore there.
Yeah.
So he used to live across the road. We'd play cricket. I don't know if you were allowed, but we would. We'd just golf at in front. But we used to play cricket in his sort of driveway, like where we were. It was good fun. Yeah, I loved it.
We were so lucky at Mount Warrigal. We had the lake around us. We had the Blackbutt Reserve about 3 or 4 k away. We had the beach a couple of k away. I used to ride down. I did it last week with the kids. Just took them on the bike and rode down to the entrance again, and just the good old days. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it as well. Like, again, you said lake, ocean, you even got the escarpment, the bush and all that. And even not that far away, you got the farms and that. I actually absolutely love it. I think it's got a bit of everything there.
And you two actually living quite close together now.
About 10k where we worked out.
Yeah. You're down to your farm and you've moved not far from Yellow Rock.
Yeah, not too far. It's been
Calderwood.
Yeah, it's been good, mate. I really enjoy it. I've always loved the bush, but you know, you still want to be close enough, so you can't be in the middle of nowhere. So it's you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but still close enough. You know, so it's good. So I can still get to
farming
training.
Anything?
What's that, sorry?
Are you farming anything?
I got like 16 cows.
Yeah.
And then,
What do you got? What, steers?
Herefords.
They're lovely.
Yeah. So they're very, very easy to look after. So that's good. So very low maintenance, which is pretty easy for us. Got a few chickens, but we're probably going to get a few more animals. But keep beautiful.
I thought when I put together a UFC fighter and one of the world's fastest ever bowlers, we wouldn't be talking about cows. Anyway.
Hereford. No, they're good.
Now, Volk, what's going on at the moment? You're up in Sydney about to announce something. You're getting back to another fight?
Yeah. So, it's not... Our fights are not locked in, but they are doing UFC Sydney.
Okay.
So we're about to announce that, so I can talk about that. But yeah, so they're bringing the UFC to Sydney. I think February. Do we know what date it is? February 14th or something, or something like that.
Yeah,
February.
okay.
I should know that right about and announce it, but they'll give me exact details. But yeah, so that's going to be. I'm hoping to headline that. So that's what we want. But it just needs to see what happens. Because my next fight's going to be for the title, but we've got Ilya and Max fighting for the belt next week. So so that's I'll be there watching. I'll be in Abu Dhabi watching that, and then that'll give me a clear answer of when I'm fighting and who it is. But I'm hoping to fight one of the winner in Sydney.
Wait, when you say you go and watch, what are you looking for? Are you looking techniques? You're looking at what they're doing?
Well, just just be there, knowing that I've got next, and just sort of hype up the fight. Whether they get me in there after the fight for a face-off. Last time I was in Abu Dhabi, that's how I got my fight with Islam when I tried to go for double champ when I fought him in Perth, when he did our face-off, and that hyped it all up and got that fight going. So maybe do something like that. Just be there and again watch, but do a bit of media around it. You know, let everyone know why I'm there.
I want you to bring back your old form. I was doing some research, and your first 4 fights, fight 1 lasted 6 seconds, fight 2 lasted 30 seconds, fight 3 lasted 30 seconds, and you're a bit slow on the fourth fight. Took you 2 minutes.
All right.
Can we do that again next fight?
Well, that'll be great. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of effort goes into preparation and training. As you know, you've got to do a lot, but going out there and finishing on a fight very easy is always good. I don't care how hard I try and get. I've got to prepare for the worst. But get me out there as quick as possible. That'd be great. So yeah, nice 6-second knockout would be good.
I want to ask Vol a question. So from what I see, 13 knockouts you've had in your career. So you knocked 13 guys out. I know that with cricket, when we win or lose, play a cricket match, you go and have a beer with the sort of team afterwards. What's it like when you sort of physically choke someone out, knock someone out, and then you hug them afterwards? And do you generally get the chance to catch up with them after and say hi, mate, or?
Straight after the fight, because you're usually doing a bit of media together, or you'll see each other in the medical sort of room, which you usually need to be there after a fight. So usually, show your respects there. You probably don't really get to, catch up after for a beer, because everyone's got their own after parties and whatnot. But I'm pretty chill with my opponents. So I just look at this as a sport. A lot of people, I'm not very aggressive. I'm not like that. So that's just how I am. Things you may get a bit of a bad blood, as they say, and words might be said, but usually it's just all business.
It's funny you say that, because you actually both very similar in that regard. I'll take you back, Brett. You're bowling in Perth to Alex Tudor, the fast bowler for England.
Yeah.
You hit him in the head, and it was a real gruesome thing to watch. And I saw the look on your face. You were clearly disturbed that you'd hurt the guy.
Yeah, well, to set context, I was out there batting, and this guy had scored 100 only a couple of games prior to us, and he's a fast bowler with bats at number 8 or 9, a bit like me, but I wasn't as good as him batting. And he was bouncing me. He was trying to hurt me, and I was batting with Steve Waugh. And Steve Waugh said to Alex Tudor, he said, mate, when you come out, watch out. I'm going to unleash Binger. And they held the second new ball back. They held it back, lost the wicket. Alex Tudor came out, said, warm up, you're on, get him. And I can say hand on heart, I hate the sight of blood. I hate people getting hurt. And the great thing is most guys, now you have to wear helmets and you have to wear like protective clothing and like equipment. And I bowled this ball. I bowled a couple of balls with the old ball. And then I took the brand new ball because you want to warm up first. You want to save that brand new hard rock.
Okay.
Because that's the sort of glory ball.
Yep.
And I bowled it and he had a gap in his helmet and he turned and it hit his eye socket, went straight through and destroyed his eye socket. Never played again. He's rolling around the ground. I'm holding his head and there's blood. I've got blood all over my shirt. And I thought, this guy's going to die. I felt horrible. They stretched him off. And the spectacle in the crowd, they loved it because they want fast bowlers to bowl bounce and stuff. But I can say, it's almost like me personally, it's almost like I was an actor. You're out there trying to intimidate and be this big, tough, fast bowler, but I hated people getting hurt. And I went and saw him after the match and said, mate, sorry that this... He said, no, I should have had my helmet closer. It's my fault. I gave heaps to you. It's all good.
You never played again?
Never played again.
Oh, wow. So how is that? Like, that's something that... So I guess that's... how do you look at that? Like, obviously I've got a job to do. Is that how you looked at that? Like, so when you say you...
That was my job, spot on.
Was to get it going.
Well, it was to rev it up, and we both get that white line fever. I think we're pretty similar in that.
So like it's like I had a job to do, as you had a job to do. Sorry, so you went out there, did it. Obviously, once it happened, you felt bad.
Thank God, over the years, probably picked off 250 odd people over 25 years and cracked him in the head and had knocked guys out. I had this guy, Chandapur, West Indies, knocked out for about 40 seconds and felt horrible. Obviously, the passing of Philip Hughes knocked a lot of
So just on that,
around.
So with that knowledge now with Philip Hughes, passing away on the cricket field, do you think if you knew that when you were hitting these guys, it would have changed the way you bowled?
100%. Yeah, and that was a freak accident. As I said, 200 people that I'd hit, you'd bounce and hit heaps of guys in the head as well. It's part of the game, but that little split second, if he turned his head a split second earlier, wouldn't have hit that vein or that artery.
He's unlucky.
And he was very unlucky. And now they wear like a flap at the back of their helmet to try to stop that. Yep. But it's sport and it's just horrible. But I actually wouldn't have gone as aggressive. And I thank God that guys only got a couple of head knocks, but nothing
and
too bad.
No one's ever died in UFC, have they?
No, not UFC. No, I think MMA now there has been. I think there has been. I think some of it there's been probably more deaths from the weight cuts and the people losing the weight. To be honest, right. But there's been a lot more deaths in boxing than there has in MMA.
How does that play in your mind?
Obviously it's not because what you're saying, right? Like I got to punch people in the face for a living. That's my sport, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt the person.
Call me old-fashioned. That's not my sport.
So you get what I mean? Like, that's my job to do. Yeah. But I don't like hurting people. So I've been in fights where Korean Zombie. I'll say Korean Zombie. I can't say his name properly. I'm terrible with names. But he was Chang Song Jong. I think I said that right, actually.
Well done. Sounded good.
Yeah. But he was, again, nice guy, respectful guy. But you got to go out there, do your thing. And he's just too tough for his own good. So I was, just bombing on him, landed on him. And I could see that he was done. He felt defeated. Like, there was no way of winning for him. Yet he...
just kept coming.
He just didn't want to... He's not going to tap out. We're warriors. We're fighters. He's not going to lay down. So, but you could even see the doctors and referees going to him, and I'm thinking, just stop the fight. Like, as I can see in his eyes, he don't want to be there, but he's not going to give up. He's not going to say, "Oh, I'm done." So he's going to, try and respond to the refs as strongly as he can. And so they end up letting him go, and then I'm like, felt bad. Like I literally go up to him. I don't know why. What is he going to say? Obviously, he's not going to say to me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm done." I go, "You all right?" Like to him as I walk into him for the last round.
That's a good sledge.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like. I'm like going. I'm like, "You good?" I said like that, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm going, "You sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right." So I was like, don't know what I was expecting him to say. He's not going to say, "Nah, man, I'm done." You know what I mean? Like obviously he's not.
Pretty noble of you.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a weird one, but then I was like, "All right," like just hate it. And then I had to do it, but the stoppage wasn't far. Obviously, the ref knew that it wasn't. As soon as I landed a couple more big shots, he'll stop it. So we did. That was straight after. But I remember feeling bad. I thought it was probably going to be his last fight. I knew it would be his last title shot. So yeah, I felt bad because again he's a very nice, respectful dude, but that's just a part of the job, right?
That's the world you live in. I had on the show last week Colin Scott, who's NFL footballer. The average life expectancy in NFL is only 55 years. They wear helmets, but they're weapons. And we talked a lot about traumatic brain injuries, and he's set up his own charity now called Brain for Life to try and work out any contact sports, how we can better prepare, prevent, and potentially cure down the track. Is that something that you think about that could happen to you? Well,
of course, it is definitely something that you got to think about. I'm coming off 2 KO losses.
Yeah.
So, that's something that is going to be a big question straight afterwards. It's, you go and you're talking to concussion specialists and doing things like that. It's something that you need to take serious. I never used to take it as serious as I do now because I guess I wasn't usually on that end of it. But, the last couple makes you think. So that's why I've had a bit of a break. I've never had this big of a break, but you got to take those things serious. But it's definitely something. And you just mentioned like with the headgears or the helmets and that. That's why boxing, I feel a lot of people, they've got bigger gloves, but it's all just head contact. And as you're saying with the helmets, they've got the helmets, but there's a lot of head knocks and it's still rattling the brain. So people think, they've got the protective gear, but there's a lot of head contact, and same with boxing. Like majority of it's head strikes. Where MMA, you still got wrestling and grappling and all that involved. So that's why I don't know. I've always said like it doesn't really make sense, but then when you look at it, it's actually probably more science to why there's been probably worse concussions in other sports than MMA.
Well, in NFL, Cole was saying on the back of the helmet in really fine print said the helmets can cause death and major head injuries.
No one's reading that.
No, he said we didn't read that.
I listened to it yesterday. It was excellent.
But I was often thought you may have had concussion your whole life because you used to run in 100 metres in 30-degree heat for 20 years.
Stupidity, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I wasn't blessed with the batting genes like Shane, right? I was doing the hard yards running in, but we'd cover about 17 Ks a day as a fast bowler. People don't see that. It's the same as AFL. They're 15 to 20 Ks, but I loved it. I loved the hard work. I loved when the chips are down, you use as many cliches as you want, but when it's hot and I played in Sharjah, 57 degrees.
That's too hot.
We were bowling 1 over spells. Like literally, you felt like you're going to melt out there. But it's what I loved, and I think you prep yourself for it. You get super fit, and it's all the work you do behind the scenes that people don't see. That I used to train and my run was about 35 metres and I'd be doing sprints at 45 metres. So when I got into the game, I knew that I had 10 metres up my sleeve, train at 100%.
And soft sand too, you did.
And then running at 85%, so I had a lot more to give. So I was trying to do it easier. And that was...
What was it like with, now with the science around hydration and things like that? Like... How was it? Like, was that a big thing for you guys with the rehydration? Was that something that you
lose up to 8 kilos in a day?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is it something that we're now, because I got a nutritionist on board, like he just did Ned Brockman's, like he was a nutritionist and had to keep him hydrated, try and keep the weight on and things like that. So the science around it's obviously a lot more. The knowledge is there where I feel like even 5-6 years ago it wasn't as much, you know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to say. Was it something that you guys had to, obviously they're going to have water and that.
Definitely.
But was it something that they try to stay on top? It was like, we know you're going to lose this much. We need to maintain this much water. Was it in that much depth?
I think back in the glory days in the 90s, and we both played the 90s and early 2000, and you place or replace that 8 litres of fluid with beer.
Okay, yeah.
Straight away, right? So you think you're putting your fluid back in, but you're just dehydrating yourself again.
So what about while you're playing? Or was it just like, I just drink here and there?
I drink Gatorade, I drink Hydro, I drink any like electrolytes to try and get it in. But I could not keep the weight on because I was travelling so many Ks bowling, and I'd do the big carb load before a test match and heaps of meat and everything.
Yeah.
But you just got to try and smash your hydration. And I remember waking up, I still remember it, we were playing against India, they were like 2 for 400, open the windows, second day of a test match, Adelaide, it's hot, 40 degrees already.
Dry heat. Oh.
And I'm looking, I'm sweating already, and I hop out of bed, and my hamstrings and my glutes are killing, my back sore, my elbows sore, and it's like I'm dehydrated. You know, you without being crude, but you know your urine's yellow, almost orange, and you're trying to smash the water, you're trying to get the hydrolyte in, you're trying to get the salts in, and you sort of get down to the team bus, and the captain's going to go, mate, you're on first over, and I want 150 Ks. And you got to find that drive in you somewhere, and you look down, you see the coat of arms, you're like, right. You just need something to get you to click, and then you're back into it.
A mate of mine was up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and in the dark, and his wife was accusing him of not getting it in the bowl, so she used to make him take Baroccas before so she could see the evidence.
That's too orange to be mine. That's definitely yours.
Quite smart. Quite smart and gross at the same time. Now, this could be a world record amount of numbers here. Injuries over your career so far. You've had what?
I played cricket because I thought it was a gentleman's sport. Didn't want to play rugby league because I thought I'd get injured. I think 11 operations.
11 operations. So you broke your back when you were 18.
So when I go to the physio or the chiro and they say shade the area that you're injured or sore, I'll just see my eyes.
Well, that was the only...
That's it. That's the only part that's good. No, so 6 ankle operations. I've had bone grafted out of my hip, which is put in my elbow. Broke my back twice. Bulging discs in my neck. 2 snapped elbows. 2 slap lesions in my shoulder. No soft muscle tear. I've had 2 muscle tears in my life when I was playing, which is unheard of. Mine was all structural because I actually wanted to find where that ceiling was.
Yeah.
I would go until I snapped in half.
That's a question I got.
Yeah.
It's like, my shoulder hurts just throwing a rock. You know what I mean? I wanted to ask, like, how are your shoulders now? Like, you know, how is it from, like, when I try and I can't do it fast. I feel like especially, I think it might be, like, for me, because everything's like this. So our shoulders are like that. So when I chuck, it's just my shoulders aren't.
Are you throwing rocks at your Croatian neighbours?
Just even when you skim a rock, I do one. I'd be like, whoa, I ain't doing that again. But I mean, like, how are the shoulders?
Fine. I did a slap lesion in 2001. Never had it fixed. And that was from throwing, it wasn't from bowling. So I've done that repetition so many times.
Yeah, so it was like
and my shoulders are fine.
I couldn't even get my arms like that, to be honest.
So what have you had?
Exactly. Broken nose, broken hands. I've had in fights. I've broke this twice. This one as well. You know, your broken toes, like elbow surgeries.
What about your legs? You've got the record for most kicks, haven't you?
It could be. I was up there for one of the fights.
I think you're number one, 75 leg kicks.
Yeah, maybe in my division or for... I'm not sure, well, there you go.
So you're breaking your legs doing it like...
you get like... You know,
do you kick walls like we see on YouTube?
Feet, you know, you bust your feet, your toes, hands. Obviously broken, things on your face will happen, but not too bad considering.
Are you not worried about when your shin comes around and it's just going to snap in half?
Yeah, sort of, but I mean, I'm not... I don't go 100%. Like, a lot of my kicks are more for more strategy. Obviously, there's going to be some that I will try and take their leg out. But a lot of it is more to cutting them off, setting things off afterwards, give them something else to worry about. Like, I use all my tools in so many different ways where I felt like that's definitely helped me through my career. So I can go there and just really put it in. But a lot of times there's a bit more strategy behind it.
Remember Christmas Day when we had those boxing gloves? Shane goes, put these on, we'll have a bit of a
backyard
spar.
boxing?
Well, it was in the lounge room.
Okay, yeah.
So did I tape you up before that as well?
No, he didn't tape me up, but he went bang and snotted me straight in the beak, claret everywhere, and I had to hold my nose.
Mate, it sounds like you really roughed him up, didn't you?
That's why he's a tough cricketer that he was, mate.
Yeah, there you go. It's got to be done, though, I guess.
Big brother, right?
Yeah,
Now,
big brother. That's it.
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to try and get an honest answer. It might be a bit harder for you, Volk, because you're still competing, right? But I know, like, hand on heart, honestly, I remember there was a county game I played for Somerset. We're playing against Worcester, I think it was. I can't remember the team, but Courtney Walsh, the West Indian fast bowler, was bowling, and he hit Peter Bowler through the grill, blood everywhere, on the crease, and I had to walk out the bat. And I actually feared for my own life.
Oh, yeah.
Just before that, have you ever thought that when you were batting? You thought about potentially
ask you about that.
Fear, and same question to you. Do you ever fear for your own life? It's hard for you to answer because you're still competing. I know.
Not really. I got a job to do, and that's just how I look at it. I'm willing to. Don't want to say it like that, but I'm willing to go to whatever lengths I have to win. So that's just how I look at it. You do sometimes think later, how things are going to be, but I'm just like, I'll just worry about that later. I know what it takes to, if I've got to be elite, this is just what I need to put my body through, and I'll just have to deal with that stuff later. That's just sort of how I looked at it.
You, Brett?
Well, how about you guys?
In the nets, and he would hit me every single time. I was petrified of the ball, hated getting hit. Put me in a game when I'm playing either for New South Wales or Australia or Mossman.
Mate, people are going to call docs on me.
Bring it on. Literally, in a game situation, bring it on. Like, if I got hit early on, I was a much better batsman because I'd switch on. And there's something about me, I thought, all right, come on. And I'd love the pain and make you sharpen up. I remember I got hit at Lord's, broke my hand, back of my hand. Had to go bat in the second test. And my hand had a fracture at the top of my hand.
I'm just thinking of the ball.
But it's like, I don't know, just something clicks in you and you sort of go on the wall. You're out there playing for your country or fighting for your country, whatever it is, and it's just
I remember going away.
Get you right.
I remember going over.
Sort that out, huh?
About 2002, I'd finished cricket and I went to New Zealand for work with Chris Muldoon. That was my business partner at the time, the Rat, yeah. And I walked into a bar and the cricket was on. You were bowling in New Zealand, and your front foot slipped and you beamed Brendan McCullum, hit him in the neck or something. And I just heard the whole bar go, fucking leave and kill him, and I just turned in and walked out.
That was in that little uni town, Dunedin, I think it was.
Yeah,
that wasn't good.
No.
And unfortunately, I'd hit McCullum twice, or 3 times with a beamer. I never want to hurt anyone with a beamer. And then I played him in the Big Bash and bounced him and broke his nose in 3 spots through the grill.
He's a tough boy. He used to box before matches.
He actually, I broke his nose in 3 spots. He went off. The doctor went, clicked him back in the gear. He came back out and batted.
So so they didn't have helmets.
They had helmets, but just go straight through.
So all right. So they've obviously changed that now. You're saying?
Well,
or you reckon they can still sneak through?
A visual thing. I got hit through off Carl Rackman early in my career because you actually have the grill a little bit wider because to see better,
vision.
To really close it up so the ball didn't squeeze through. It often got in your way. So that was your occupational hazard you had to deal with.
Yes. But I mean, as you said, like I've got to, I want to see.
I actually owe you 2 margaritas.
Oh, okay.
I was in Paris in July.
Yep.
And we're walking on the boardwalk, and me and my wife Lana, and we just stopped at one of the little bars there. And I get up and said two margaritas to the guy, and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Oh, Australia." He goes, "Oh, Volkanovski, legend." I said, "Well, we actually grew up in the same neighbourhood." He's like, "No way." Show me the photo. I showed him the photo. 3 margaritas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Done.
Beautiful.
So I sort of came back on the way past it. Make me 2 more.
All right.
Well, I like to ask everyone the same question that comes on Lunch with Lee. I'll ask you first, Brett. A young boy or girl wants to go into the world of professional sport. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give them?
You have to love it. If you can find something that you love to do and you're fully committed, the thing with sport from my angle is that it's going to be hard work. It's going to be sacrifices. I remember Friday night, my mates were going out, 18, 19 years of age, they're going to parties, they're drinking beer, they're thinking, how good's this? And I'm at home tucked up because I had to go to play at Mossman the next morning, drive up 2 hours from the South Coast. You have to be committed. You have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, try something different. But you've got to be totally committed, appreciate the hard work that goes into it, and try to get those little wins every single day. So depending on what you do and depending on the way it's structured, if you can tick off a little win every single day it's going to put you in better stead to be a better player or a person.
And Volk, I'll ask you the question, and remember there's going to be parents listening here. A young boy or girl wants to go into mixed martial arts or UFC or boxing. What advice are you giving them?
Yeah, well, I still look at it like, again, it is a combat sport. Yep. So like it is but I still look at it as a sport. Just like so I'm going to treat it as if I would with any sport.
Yeah.
You know, hit the nail on the head. Like it is a commitment. You want to be elite at anything in life, even business or whatever it is, but especially sport. You got to do what most people aren't willing to do. You know what I mean? You're going to have to go that extra mile. You know, do what, there's a lot of times, trying to find this perfect, medium where it's like, I get to sort of chill and, have a bit of fun. Again, no, there's going to be sacrifice. You've got to do more than every other, because there are so many athletes out there trying to, be great at something. But if you're that top percent that's doing that a little bit extra, that really does make the difference. And I believe that's what's helped me through my career. Is that I felt like throughout my career, I was willing to go places that a lot of people weren't, and that's what separated me. I was not athletically gifted or anything like that. I think it was just pure hard work, grit, determination.
I think that's what resonates with your supporter base. You have a huge supporter base, and they see that in you. As you said, you mentioned you're 5'6". You've had to come down weight. You're excuse the pun, you're a real fighter. But people see that, as you said, you might not be the most genetically gifted, but geez, you give it all, and you're committed to it.
You can tell he's got the commitment upstairs.
Yeah,
you have to have that.
Mate, we're proud of you, mate, and we're going to be watching this fight. That. Good luck with the Sydney UFC, and we're proud of you as an Australian, a New South Welshman, and a Mount Warrigal boy, mate.
That,
I want to talk Hereford and Black Angus. We'll pick this up later on.
So I don't know too much about any of the cows. I only know Herefords at the moment, but all I can say is, and I've heard it through other people, they're going, they're pretty low maintenance, and they are, mate. I just wake up one day and there's an extra cow there.
There you go, mate.
And I'm just like, what? Oh, how good's this? But anyway, we won't get into that.
Thanks for coming lunch with Lee, mate. And good luck
worries.
with everything.
Shut up.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Good to see you, mate.
That's it for Lunch with Lee this week. A big thank you goes out to our guests, Alexander, the great Volkanovski, and Brett Lee, the great brother. Thanks to our sponsors, Richard Bowman & Co., Taylor and Clothiers, and thanks to Hive Sound and Production Studios. Make sure you hit follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from, and do us a favour, hit 5 stars. If you're there and passionate, please leave a review. And come check us out on Instagram at I'm at Lunch with Lee. Our official Lunch with Lee photography was done by Felicity Kelly. You can find her on Instagram at Felicity Kelly Portraits. And thanks to our producer, Dan McHugh. We'll be back next time for another great episode of Lunch with Lee. We'll see you then.